Howdy, name's Dave. Channel's TXW5CSM. Today we're going to cover Senate Bill 11, which covered campus carry. It was recently signed by the governor. Came out of legislative session in the state of Texas in session number 84, regular. You can see my other video on Texas Legislature Online and how to track bills, how to download the text, which I'll be showing you here in a moment. All of the notes that are placed on the text, these little pop-up notes, were done by me, and the highlights were done by me as well, but none of the text has been altered. And really interesting documents as it goes through the process. They give you space to they give you links. So the blue highlighted text like this is definitions. So section 61.003 is definitions, and if you click on it, it will take you to the exact text in the law. So this is definitions. In this chapter it covers board, what a public junior college is, general academic, teaching institution. This is stuff that only lawyers enjoy, so enjoy your time playing with that. But if you want to dig into the gory details, that is how you do it. Just click on the text. So for now, we're going to go through and going to give you basically two different versions. One is going to be a very short, quick look at what the changes in the law will do, what campus carry is, what it is not, how to ensure that you're not going to break the law. And then I will go through the entire document in gory detail. Basically, you can see on the bottom right hand side here I have some notes. So the short version is concealed carry is for campus carry is concealed carry only. There is no open carry on campuses. I'm going to be doing the open carry bill here when I have some time, so that one's going to be coming up in the future. So it is concealed carry only. Junior colleges have an exemption until the 1st of August 2017 to comply with the posting requirements. And it applies to college campuses only, not high schools, not grammar schools, any of those levels. So section 411.2031, subparagraph E, gives private and independent institutions, because they're private property, not public property, they can make and amend policy after consulting with students, staff, faculty, but there is no requirement for a 2/3 majority. They just have to have whatever their bylaws allow them to do. Now, all campuses, both public and private, have a provision in the law where they can make residential facilities, they can make specific rules specific to those residential facilities. So they do not have to go to the legislature and notify. Public colleges, UT Austin, UTSA, University of Texas El Paso, Texas A&M, have the requirement of posting a 3006 sign, not a 3007, because again there's no open carry on the campuses. The postings are required to, before the posting is made, there's a requirement to get input from the student, staff, faculty, and a 2/3 majority of the Board of Regents or their equivalent. So if they don't have a Board of Regents, they have a Board of Governors, they have a Board of whatever. There is a 2/3 majority requirement for the public institutions that does not exist for the private institutions. After that 2/3 majority, specific to, and those have to be specific to a building and they have to be justified. Once that is accomplished, the legislature is notified by each college or university, again public only, by the 1st of September on each even-numbered year, and no legislative concurrence is required. So they have to notify the Texas legislature. I assume it just goes on file, and there are no rules up or down. There's no vote in the legislature. It's a notify only. So that's pretty much the gist of it. If you'd like to stop watching now, I totally understand. I'm going to go through the document itself. So this is Senate Bill number 11. And then the notes are signed by the governor on the 13th of June 2015 with an effective date of 1 August 2016. And junior colleges have until 1 August of 2017. Legislature's rationale on that was the junior colleges are not manned, throughout the entire year. They need more time to go through their process and get their documentation straight, as well as to buy all those annoying 3006 signs and have them posted appropriately. So, this act, SB Senate Bill number 11, which has now amended the law, applies to all of the institutions. So this section covers license holders on certain campuses. Anything underlined in these documents are things that were added or changed. Anything stricken through are things that are removed. As I go through the open carry, you'll see a lot of the stricken and rewritten stuff. So this says carrying handguns, license holders on certain campuses, gives you a definition of campuses, tells you specifically what they are. Here's one of those links again. This again goes to definitions. Unlawful carrying of handguns by a license holder, the premises and property differences. If you're a concealed handgun license holder in the state of Texas, you know that very well. If you don't, I'll bore you with it real quick. Property is land. Premises are buildings. There you go. That's pretty much it. So continuing on through the law, subparagraph C has exceptions, D, D1, or E. We'll go through those here in just a little bit. That says that they may not adopt any rule or regulation prohibiting license holders from carrying on the campuses, except for those specific items. They may establish rules, regulations, dormitories. This is what I covered earlier. Everybody, private, public, can go ahead and do that. After consulting with students, staff, faculty, shall establish rules, regulations. May not generally prohibit general public campus. Okay, I don't know why I highlighted that. There's really nothing in that one. Give notice under 3006, so that's where they have to buy all those annoying 3006 signs and get them posted. Not later than the 90th day. The Board of Regents, other governing body, shall review the positions, and not less than 2/3 board. Again, this is D1. That was a provision of where they can restrict CHL holders from entering. Again, it has to be by building, it has to be justified. Widely distribute the regulations, prominently publish the provisions. Also on the internet's website. First time I've seen a website posting requirement in a law, but then again, I've only been reading these for a short period of time. Shall submit report to the legislature. There you go. There's nothing in here that says the legislature has to concur. Moving right along. So it has to describe the rules. So if 2/3 majority of the Board of Regents or like representative, it has to describe the rules, regulations, and other postings, why concealed handguns would not be allowed, explain the reasons. This is E. This is the private institution clause. So this goes through and says, after consulting with student, staff, faculty, and institution, may establish rules, regulations, provisions prohibiting holders from carrying handguns on campus, institution grounds, blah, 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 blah. There is no 2/3 majority requirement, and there is no notification to, no requirement to notify the legislature. It is private property. It is like your house. It is like my house. It is your property. Let's just throw Baylor University out there. It is a private institution. It owns the land. It is managed by a board of regents or some other like organization. It can establish all the rules and regulations it wants to on that land, just like you can at your house, I can at my house, and the legislature did not step on their toes or create a public-private property issue in this law, because they did differentiate the private institutions. Okay, limitations of liability. This basically says you cannot hold the university accountable, you cannot hold the police department accountable, all the stuff. If it's a justified use of deadly force incident, I'm not going to go through all this stuff. You can see I didn't highlight a lot, but a lot of it is underlined. So if you'd like to go through this portion of the law and knock yourself out, it was kind of very dry for me. So links to definitions again, institutes of higher education. Okay, going through down here, person commits offense. So this is a CHL holder on a campus, commits an offense if they intentionally, knowingly, recklessly go with a firearm, knife, club, blah, blah, all that other legal stuff, or carries any type of a prohibited weapon into the following areas. If you're a CHL holder, you know these backward, forward, inside, and out. So they threw in here the institution, vehicles owned by, etc. So if you go with a handgun onto the institution, so this is the stuff that you're going to recognize as a CHL holder. Premises of a polling place, government building where there's a court, premises of a racetrack. It's all these places that you can't go. Within 1,000 feet of a location where an execution is going to happen. They don't want you to shoot them early. These are all the legal requirements. You know exactly what they are if you're a CHL holder, and if you don't, or if you're not aware and you don't have a CHL, if you ever do get one, understand that yeah, you're going to have to comply with all these things. Secured areas of an airport. License holder commits an offense if you wholly or visibly show your firearm, and big word, and intentionally or knowingly display in plain view of another person. So that's the intentionality clause that was added to the law the session previous to this. If your firearm accidentally is exposed, you have some legal protection. You're probably going to beat the rap, but you're not going to beat the ride. You're going to have a legal bill. Just, you know, if you're a concealed handgun license holder, just keep it concealed. Makes your life a lot easier. Places where weapons are prohibited, exactly what I went through over there earlier. Racetracks, 1,000 feet of a place of execution. All of those areas, Class A misdemeanor. So defense to prosecution. If at the time of committing the offense, being the A1, A2, A3, the lesser areas, your B1, B3, those things you're not going to get out of. Check out exactly what it is above. You'll see why. One is someplace you shouldn't be carrying a gun anyway because of 51% rule. At the time of commission, displayed a handgun circumstances which the actor or the accused would be you or me as a CHL holder would have been justified in the use of deadly force. What that does is if you pull your weapon out and show it and do not have to discharge it, it keeps you from a brandishing offense, because you probably, if you were legally authorized to use deadly force in that situation, and only exposing your firearm was a lesser form of aggression on your part, that gives you some protection. Again, you'll probably beat the rap, but you're not going to beat the ride. Here's 3006, which is the posting that's required. The law is specifically trespass by a holder of a license or concealed handgun. This goes into institutes of higher education again. So except as otherwise provided in this document, this act takes effect the 1st of August 2016. I know I do the dates goofy. I was in the Army too long. So private independent institutions have the same date requirement. The act does not apply to public junior colleges. Before the 1st of August 2017, again, the chatter in the legislative floor had to do with their manning requirements, so they decided on that. So government code has been added to this act, takes effect August 1st, 2017, and the rest of the interesting stuff at the bottom would be, you know, once it's final, and they post it. President of the Senate signs, Speaker of the House signs, Secretary of the Senate signs, Chief Clerk of the House signs, and then the Governor signs. This has been signed by the Governor. It is going to be law on those appropriate dates. I hope you didn't find this too boring. I'm sure it was lengthy, and if you hung out till the end, I really appreciate it. Don't worry, this is the short one. When I get to the open carry bill, it's going to be a lot longer. So if you hang with me till the end, remember, knowledge is only power when it's shared.